What's good, everybody, and welcome back once again to the channel. In today's video, I'm going to be doing my post-Week 7 XFL Power Rankings. And without further ado, let's begin. So, coming in at number 8, I got the Orlando Guardians, who were able to get their first win of the season. They are now 1-6, and they were able to, going into the game, they were 0-6, taking on the DC Defenders, who were 6-0, and they pulled off a 37-36 victory, a shootout, a high-scoring affair, and that was probably the upset of the year for the XFL, and will stay the upset of the year for the XFL. That was an impressive victory, and the Guardians, that's just a big time win. I mean, they're not going anywhere. They're still, screwed in the playoff race. But it's a pretty awesome win for them, and I think they went into that game as this is our Super Bowl. Let's go get it done. Yeah. Coming in at number 7, I have the San Antonio Brahmas, who lost to the Vegas Vipers 26-12. Their offense was just completely shut down with the two quarterbacks they had with Pass and Benkert. But yeah, I mean, it was ugly for the Brahmas after coming off of that big win against the Renegades. Brahmas are not looking too good. And then coming in at number 6, I have the Vipers going ahead of the Brahmas. I mean, they just beat them. And, this did not look like the same Vipers team we've seen. They had the new quarterback in who did a very good job of managing the game. Good dual threat quarterback there that the Vipers brought in after trading away Luis Perez, which I thought was a great move for the Renegades. And speaking of the Renegades, coming in at number 5, who are at 3-4. I think that's a good pickup. He did not play in the game this week against the Sea Dragons, but he may start next week, and I think he fits well with this offense. I actually mentioned it earlier in the season in one of my other videos that I thought Luis Perez would be a good move for the Renegades to trade for, because he's one of those guys who's a good ball control quarterback who can manage an offense well without having to do too much outside of the system, and will not put you in harm's way of turning the ball over. Kind of the opposite of what Kyle Sloter and Plitt have been doing. So I think Luis Perez can definitely help this team, and as of right now, they're still in the playoffs. So the Renegades are still very much relevant. Coming in at number 4, I have the Roughnecks, who are now 4-3, have lost all three of their losses have been to the top 3 northern teams. The Roughnecks, their offense really looked bad with Cole McDonald. I thought Cole McDonald would give them a spark, and it looked like he did give them a spark at the end of last week against the Defenders. But maybe that was just so much, maybe the Defenders' defense not being as good as we thought after what happened, this past week against the Guardians. But now, the Roughnecks facing off against the Battlehawks, Cole McDonald just really did not look good. He didn't seem like he was able to run the offense properly, made some bad reads on RPOs. When it's man coverage, you usually want to hand the ball off on an RPO. If it's zone, you want to pass it. He kind of did the opposite at times. Just not well done by Cole McDonald. But I don't think Brandon Silvers is the answer either. So this is a big problem for the Roughnecks. They don't really have a quarterback right now. And, I think they can get by the teams in the South without it and make it to the championship. But once they have to face one of these 3 northern teams that they've lost to now, they're going to have a tough time keeping up. Coming in at number 3, I have the Seattle Sea Dragons, who have now won 5 in a row, have the longest win streak currently in the XFL. They're sitting at 5-2, but as of right now, they're currently not in the playoffs. Now, they do control their destiny. They play the DC Defenders again. They play the St. Louis Battlehawks again. So they're going to have those rematches against those 2 teams that they lost to in the first couple of weeks of the season. Which, yeah, but if they want to be able to beat those teams, Ben DiNucci needs to stop churning the ball over in the red zone. I think Ben DiNucci kind of really hurt his MVP chances with the performance this past week. He's just been prone to a lot of turnovers in the red zone. For as good as he's been playing, he's not leading the league in touchdowns anymore, and he just seems to not be able to take care of the football in certain situations, and he's really the reason why the Renegades stayed in the game. But the Sea Dragons defense has gotten a lot better as this season has gone on. But yeah, they need to win these upcoming games. They can't stop at the 5 straight, because they are in a tough division. Coming in at number 2, I have the St. Louis Battlehawks, who are 5-2, and their only 2 losses are to the DC Defenders, both of them being to them. They're in a hot seat because they need to keep winning because the Sea Dragons are on their tail. They'll set up for a big-time matchup when they play again. But the Battlehawks, AJ McCarron, in my opinion, has solidified himself as the MVP, at least for now, with 3 weeks to go. I think right now he has jumped as the front runner, showed great leadership when he got hurt. However, he gave up on a play when a player fumbled, but, that's, irrelevant. But running back Brian Hill had 2 very costly fumbles. I was actually surprised that they brought him back in after those back-to-back fumbles. You fumble once, you're going to get another opportunity. You fumble twice, unless you're, unless you're a Hall of Famer, you may not get another opportunity. So I was surprised how he came back in. But they were able to finish the game out. Their defense completely shut down the Roughnecks. And yeah, their offense did what it had to do. They're definitely, a strong contender moving forward, no doubt. And then coming in at number 1, I got the DC Defenders, who got their first loss of the season. Now they're 6-1. Very shocking. I didn't expect DC to go 10-0. But, I did not think they would lose this game. This was a really shocking one. And they just didn't, they really messed up on a lot of situations. They had the Abram Smith fumble. They had the missed field goal. They had the overthrown pass. So, you take those 3 things, the missed field goal, the fumble when they were in the red zone, and then the overthrown pass that would have gone for a touchdown. If just one of those things go their way, they would have won that game. So they just had a lot of unfortunate situations through this game. I don't think it's a panic button loss for them, but it definitely shows that, okay, this team is not unbeatable, which there is holes on this team. And Abram Smith, who I thought, who was a, strong MVP candidate coming in, still is, but I think he, hurt himself with that game-losing fumble pretty much. It didn't end the game there, but they never got the ball. They got the ball back after that with just seconds remaining. So, and in fact, the DC Defenders actually had 2 missed field goals. I wasn't counting the 62-yarder that could have won them the game at the very end. So 2 missed field goals, a fumble in the red zone, an overthrown pass. But regardless, back to Abram Smith, that fumble really hurt his MVP talks because, it was a big moment and that happened. And it doesn't help that AJ McCarron's having a big run right now. But yeah, DC Defenders, I still have them ranked number 1. Comment down below what you guys think, though. Looking forward to seeing how this all unfolds. And other than that, I'll see you guys next time.